So, tell me how heroin made you feel.
Um, to put it lightly, heroin was the missing link for me for everything. It was heroin. Heroin made me feel like a king. Heroin for me was better than sex.
Um, what voids did it fill in your life? Why did you feel the need to use it?
Well, I mean, it doesn't. It didn't start off with like, you don't just go straight to heroin. I mean, as far as voids go, like that hole in my stomach that I've always felt deep down inside, because everybody has some kind of pain hidden inside. I guess my pain was so great that it took the hardest drug to fill it, and I'm not sure what else to say about the voids it filled, because it filled everything. It killed my worries, it killed my anxieties, it killed my depression, it killed my happiness, although I was fake happy when I was on it. Heroin made me feel like total ecstasy and complete. I was in complete. I was euphoric. And I'm not trying to glamorize this drug because heroin is the worst thing. I wouldn't wish heroin addiction on my worst enemy. I could talk about this for a minute, but do you have any more questions?
Once you were addicted, why was it so hard to stop?
Well, it started with a very good friend of mine, and I didn't feel like getting left out anymore. So I kind of knew what they were doing, but that's why you really got to be careful who you hang around. You go to bed with dogs, you wake up with fleas. It was really hard for me to stop after I started. I started by snorting it a couple times, and by the third time, my friend had already upgraded, and he had needles, and I wanted to get high, and I didn't have any money, and people who do these kind of drugs, they don't want to get high alone, and especially if it's your best friend, supposed best friend. If he had heroin and I wanted to get high, and the only way I was allowed to do it was to shoot it up, I didn't even care. So it was so hard to stop after doing it that first time, because that was the ultimate high. It was like, where have you been all my life? Like that feeling in that moment, I will never get that back. And it was so hard to stop because I was always chasing that first moment. And I'll never get it back. And I don't ever want it back. It's so hard to stop because, unlike other drugs, heroin is very physically addicting. And most people think, oh, I'll never do this, I'll never do that. I was one of those people. I said I'd never do a lot of things. I said I'd never smoke weed, I'd never touch cocaine, I'd never ever touch heroin, and God forbid if I ever did touch heroin would ever touch a needle. It got to a point where I had to shoot up water just to make myself feel better when I was sick. It's so hard to stop because the dope dealer is your doctor, and every morning you wake up with the flu, only times 100. It didn't matter what it didn't matter what it took. I've walked to Kankakee and back, panhandled, done all sorts of crazy things, robbed, stolen. That drug will rob you of everything. it robbed me of everything. It was so hard to stop, even though my loved ones were hurt every day and crying. I've had multiple overdoses. My brothers found me in the bathroom with a needle sticking in my arm turning blue. My grandfathers found me turning blue. And on the other occasions I got sent to the hospital, they were from different circumstances. But I've died twice. This drug is so hard to stop because you physically need it after a while. It's not just fun anymore. I physically needed it. Do you have any more questions, Mariah?
No, that pretty much sums it up. Thank you. Do you have any last words you want to say?
To put it lightly, I know this is a school project, but fuck heroin. That was the worst thing I could have ever put into my body. Ever. It's poison. I was slowly killing myself. I died twice. It causes so much pain. It's unbelievable. And it doesn't stop until you're dead or in jail. And I'm lucky. God must have his hand on my shoulder because I am damn lucky to be alive. Damn lucky to be alive.
All right.
So, I don't know really what else to say. I hope I got the message across. When I was using heroin, I didn't look like this, but I look pretty decent right now. You know, I'm not scummy, my face isn't all broken out. I have a healthy weight on. I have a little bit of money saved up. I didn't have a dime. I didn't have a friend. No one trusted me. I've been clean for over 4 months. And I'm really proud of myself. So that's all I got to say.
All right.